Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And have a nice day, everyone. Okay, so we are going to learn about the chapter 2, and the chapter 2 is about the backgrounds of the Malaysian economic development. Okay. Alright, so this is the development plans in Malaysia. So we have long-term plans, medium terms, and the short terms. So what is a long-term plans? Okay, long-term plans means, alright, it covers longest time periods of more than 6 years. Alright, what about medium terms? It covers shorter time periods of 5 years, or we can say that less than 5 years. What about short term? Okay, example like budget 2023 or any annual budget every year. Every year we have budget. Alright, so this is what we call short term. Alright, so in the long term plan, okay, this is not update, right? We have to update to 2022. Alright, so the first one is new economic policy. Okay, so new economic policy is from 1971 to 1990. Okay, it's a new economic policy. New economic policy. Alright, so it's a 20 years. Okay, it's from 1971 to 1990. And the second one is a national development plan. Alright, this one from 1991 to 2000. Right, it's a 10 years. Alright, so the third one is a national vision policy from 2001 to 2010. Also 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. So this one it's on the early stage. Alright, so the last one is a new economic model from the 2011 to 2020. It's a 10 years also. Alright, the second one is a medium terms. Okay, example, I give example, Malaysia, or we can say it's a Malaya plans. This is before independence, right? First to second plans. And the second one, okay, before independence we say Malaya. But after we independence, we say it's a Malaysian plan. From the first to the 10th plans, right? So this is some development plans in Malaysia. Okay, it's a new economic policy. New economic policy. As I said that Wikipedia is not the good some source of information that we accepted in education part, but this is the first way that you can search or Google for the information. Right? Example, this is Malaysian new economic policy. Alright, so new economic policy or NEP, or we can say in the simple word, it's a dasar ekonomi baru. Okay, was a social re-engineering and affirmative actions formulated by the National Operation Council. So aftermath of 30 May incident, kalau ramai ingat 30 May 1969, yes, the 30 May incident is referred to an episode of Sino-Malay sectarian violence that took place in Kuala Lumpur. The story is at Kuala Lumpur. So Malaysian on 30 May 1969. The riot occurred in the aftermath of the 1969 Malaysia. It's a general election when opposition party made gains. Right, so this policy, okay, new economic policy, was adopted in 1971 for a period of, as I said, it's a 20 years, and it was succeeded by the National Development Policy in 1991. So this article looked in the historical context that gave rise to the formulation of this policy. Okay, what is the objective? Objective dia adalah as well as its impact on the Malaysian economy in general. So kita tengok policy overview. Okay, so 3 objectives. The first one, to achieve the national unity. Okay, national unity ni maksudnya nationalism. It's some idea and movement that hold the nation should be congruent with the state. As a movement, nationalism tends to promote the interests of a particular nation. Okay, national unity, harmony, and integrity. Alright, so, and then the second one, we try to restructure the socio economy. Okay, and the last one, to minimize the levels of poverty in the country, or we can say that eradications or alleviate the poverty. Okay, alright, next adalah National Development Plan. It's a National Development Plan. Okay, from World Bank blog. National Development Planning in Malaysia, learning from the past to chart the future. Okay, ni kira baru juga lah ni, August 6, 2019. Okay, kita tak nak yang ini. Kita nak National Development Plan. Bila? National Development Plan. Yes, 1991 to 2000. Wait, 2000. National Development Policy. In colonial period, Malaysia was involved in productions and processing of rubber and tin for export and return for import of essential food and manufactured goods. So, new economic policy was introduced in 1970. Ini adalah new economic policy lah. It was a long-term policy, 20 years yang tadi tu. So, reviving the Bumiputra as well as non-Bumiputra share in economy. Alright, so dekat sini kita nak try to enhance the welfare of the Malaysia. We try to comparing the world. So, NDP ni replaced the Malaysian economic policy in 1990, but continue most of the NEP policies. Kita tengok lagi. Yang inilah 1991 to 2000. Okay, was formulated based on the national development policy. Dia mesti akan depends with the new economic policy ni. Okay, barulah dia boleh create this one lah, National Development Policy. It's a beginning of new era in effort to make Malaysia developed country. This is our target. Okay, try to be a high nation or high income country in the 2020. Okay, alright. Next, national unity will be the final goal of the NDP, as a united community is important to strengthen the social and political stability. Alright, to make sure that the social and political was stable. So what the important thing is, we have to unite the community. Alright, then finally we can have some maintain sustainable economic development. So NDP set a step forward, enabling Malaysia to achieve a developed nation status in all respect in terms of social, values, ethic, moral, political stability, quality of life. This is very important. Efficiency of government and economic excellence. Okay. National Vision Policy. National Vision Policy. Okay, National Vision Policy is from 2001 to 2010. So the National Vision Policy, okay, the important thing is yang kita nak tahu about the plan, kita kena tahu what is the objective. Every plan they have their own objective. Okay, different objective, what their target. So, example like National Vision Policy aim to establish a united in community, progressive and prosperous bangsa Malaysia. So its endeavours to build a resilient and competitive nation. It's a competitive nation, right? Competitive nations. An equitable society with the overriding objective of national unity. So this is several critical thrusts that they try to achieve. Building a resilient nation, promoting an equitable society, sustaining high economic growth, enhance competitiveness, this is very important, developing a knowledge-based economy and strengthening human resource development, and pursuing environmentally sustainable development. Okay, alright, and then new economic model. It's a new economic model. Okay. New economic model or NEM. Okay. So what is the news in Malaysia new economic model? Alright, so as I said that by our ex Prime Minister Najib. So this is dia punya project. Okay, the objective of the NEM is for Malaysia to join the rank. They try to achieve the high income countries or high income economies. So the growth process need to be both inclusive and sustainable. So inclusive growth enable the benefit to be broadly shared across our community. Sustainable growth augment the wealth of current generation in a way that does not come at the expenses of future generations. So okay, ini dia punya target sebenarnya. Okay, they divide NEM ni by the several dimensions, refocusing from quantity to quality driven growth, right? So more accumulations of capital, labor, okay, quantities insufficient for sustained long-term growth. So we target on long-term, and then relying more on private sector, okay, involve rolling back the government presence in some areas. So we divide, okay, there is some area was provided or controlled by the private company, and the sums that rolling back by the government presence. Okay, alright, so making decision bottom up rather than the top down, from the bottom to up rather than top to down. So allowing for unbalanced regional growth. Growth accelerates if the economic activity geographically concentrate rather than spread out. So Malaysia need to promote cluster growth and also ensure the good connectivity between where the people live and work. Right, smart incentive. Smart innovation and technology. Policy will enable Malaysia to concentrate scarce public resources on activities that are more likely to catalyze value. So reorienting horizons toward emerging market. So Malaysia can take advantage of emerging market growth. Okay, by what? By diverse the workforce and strengthening the linkage with Asia and the Middle East. Right, and then welcoming the foreign talents, including the diaspora. So, as Malaysia improve the pool of talent domestically, kita mestilah kena ada yang domestic punya. Okay, whose talent kita kumpulkan dari segi domestic and plus with the foreign skill, labor, so kita akan apa kita panggil fill the gaps in the meantime. So, foreign talent does not subtract from the local opportunities. Overall, the new economic model demonstrates the clear recognition that Malaysia need to introduce deep-reaching structural reform to boost the growth. This is what the new economic model. Okay, just history. What about the medium term? Malaya. It's a Malaya plan. Cuba kita tengok Malaya plan. It's a Malaya plan. Ini first Malaysia plan. So, ini Malaysia plan. Okay, so the first plan was introduced in 1965. So it's a comprehensive outline of the government development policy and strategy. As I said that this is a development plan, so it's a strategy, it's a policy. What is the plan? What is the outline that the government have to do for at least 5 years? 5 years plan. Okay, right. And the Malaysian plan. So we have from the first to the 10th plan and annual budget. Example like budget 2023. Alright. So this is a new economic policy. Okay. Wait. Okay. Kita guna bahasa Melayu Ekonomi Malaysia sebelum dan selepas merdeka. Kita tengok history dia. Tak best. Kita tengok ini.
Kalau boleh ayah-ayah, ibu-ibu yang ada di sini, mana-mana masjid yang dengar kata nak buat, mana masjid kata nak minta wakaf dan sebagainya.
Ekonomi Malaysia sejak tahun 1970 telah mengalami pasang surut beberapa kali disebabkan oleh pelbagai faktor yang sebahagian besarnya berpunca daripada faktor luaran memandangkan polisi keterbukaan ekonomi Malaysia. Malaysia pertama kali mengalami krisis ekonomi pada tahun 1973 berikutan kenaikan harga minyak yang lebih dikenali sebagai kejutan minyak pertama akibat peperangan antara Mesir dan Israel. Namun, krisis ekonomi yang paling diingati dalam sejarah Malaysia dan juga ASEAN adalah pada tahun 1997 dan 1998. Pasti
Okay, on 1997-1998, right? So this is one of the history is the ASEAN financial crisis. Okay, they at first they hit the economy of Thailand. Okay, on baht, the attack on baht, the currency. So finally, it's spread to others country because we are neighbors country. Okay, to Malaysia, Singapore, alright, Indonesia, Thailand. Thailand is the first one.
Ramai yang tahu bahawa Malaysia antara negara yang telah berjaya dalam menangani krisis hebat ini. Namun, tidak ramai yang tahu bagaimana ia bermula. Jadi, mari kita lihat sejarah yang telah membawa perhatian dunia terhadap Malaysia. Sebenarnya, krisis ini bermula di negara Thailand. Namun, sebagai salah satu negara Asia, Malaysia terperangkap dalam krisis mata wang ini dan ia berpanjangan dan melanda seluruh Asia. Walaupun Malaysia mempunyai asas ekonomi yang kukuh, tetapi disebabkan fenomena yang dinamakan jangkitan Asia dan krisis keyakinan telah memberi impak yang besar ke atas ekonomi negara. Bagi tempoh 5 tahun sebelum tahun 1996, purata pertumbuhan sebenar KDNK Malaysia adalah sekitar 8.7% setahun dengan kadar inflasi yang rendah iaitu sekitar 3.8%. dan dengan kadar pengangguran yang hanya lingkungan 2.5% pada tahun 1996.
Okay, on the 1996, right? The average GDP, that KDNK is a GDP, that is a national income, around 8.7%. It means that our economic growth is around that 8.7%. It's quite high. And now is about the 5.5%. Okay. Alright, and then what happened to the inflation on 1996 is a very low rate. It's a 3.8%. Okay, and another one is this all is indicator. Okay, indicator to measure whether the 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 economy was growth or developed or not, and what about their poverty. And finally, the last measurement, okay, is unemployment. We have to make sure that the unemployment rate is not more than 3.5%. So 2.5% is quite low. Okay.
Malaysia juga secara relatifnya mempunyai hutang asing yang rendah, iaitu bernilai 45.2 bilion US dollar atau 42% daripada KDNK pada bulan Jun 1997. Malah, Malaysia dikategorikan sebagai negara yang memiliki kadar tabungan yang tinggi dan jumlah pinjaman tidak berbayar (NFL) yang rendah. Oleh itu, Malaysia bukanlah calon kepada kemelesatan ekonomi yang teruk. Fenomena ekonomi yang mungkin berlaku ialah mengalami pertumbuhan yang perlahan, tetapi bukannya kegawatan ekonomi dan kewangan yang serius seperti yang telah berlaku. Namun, apa yang berlaku adalah di luar jangkaan, yang mana nilai mata wang negara telah merosot dengan pantas dan pasaran sahamnya jatuh menjunam ke paras yang paling rendah pada bulan Julai 1997.
Okay, 1997, 1998, as I said that what happened is a ASEAN financial crisis. It means that they hit the baht currency, and finally our values of money also dropped. It's a drastic drop. Okay, that's why what the Mahathir do is, Dr. Mahathir do is, they peg, alright, this currency to 3.8 per US dollar.
Krisis ini bermula dengan aliran keluar modal secara besar-besaran dari pasaran kewangan tempatan di Thailand sebelum merebak dengan pantas ke negara-negara jiran hinggalah di Korea Selatan. Ekonomi Thailand kelihatan seperti lumpuh, memberi impak negatif dalam beberapa sektor, terutamanya kewangan, hartanah dan pembinaan. Nilai mata wang baht pula susut dengan pantas dan kehilangan lebih daripada separuh nilai asalnya. Ringgit pula mula mengalami penurunan nilai 2 minggu selepas baht diapungkan pada 2 Julai 1997. Kejatuhan nilai baht telah menimbulkan kesangsian pelabur dalam kadar tukaran serantau. Pasaran saham di BSKL juga turut jatuh mendadak dengan nilai indeks komposit telah menjunam ke paras 600 mata pada akhir tahun 1997. Jangkaan negatif ini telah menyebabkan ringgit mengalami penurunan yang amat teruk mencapai RM4.88 untuk 1 US dollar pada 7 Januari 1998.
Okey, 4.88. Okey, sekarang adalah 4.7. Okey, so maksudnya kita menghampiri apa yang berlaku on 1997-1998, 4.88. Alright, and okay, kita tak tahu adakah mereka akan buat perkara yang sama, same thing that 1997-1998, okay, where we are pegging the currency to 3.8, to be safe, because of the fluctuation of the currency, we cannot predict.
Ekoran daripada fenomena yang berlaku di Thailand ini telah menyebabkan ekonomi dan mata wang negara di Asia Tenggara lumpuh dan merosot. Kebanyakan pelabur mula menekan butang panik dengan mengeluarkan sejumlah kredit daripada negara-negara yang terlibat. Perkara ini membuatkan masalah yang lebih parah dan mendorong lebih banyak kebangkrapan.
Okay, the thing that we have to understand is we also depends on the foreign direct investment, the investment from others country. Okay, so FDI ni, alright, they have to concern about let's say the political, the economic, let's say yang macam ni, kegawatan ekonomi. So everybody, okay, dia dikeluarkan dia punya duit, and then because of dia punya confidence to the investment is low. Alright, so they can predict what happen to the next.
Kehebatan Malaysia menghadapi krisis. Krisis ini telah menyebabkan Malaysia menghadapi tekanan dari segi defisit akaun semasa, rizab asing yang rendah dan hutang luar yang semakin meningkat. Seperti negara-negara lain, Malaysia juga turut menerima tawaran bantuan kewangan daripada International Monetary Fund (IMF). Namun, kerajaan Malaysia telah menolak tawaran tersebut. Antara faktor kerajaan menolak IMF adalah kerana terdapat syarat-syarat yang kelihatan bakal membuatkan ekonomi dan sosial menjadi lebih teruk. Walaupun begitu, terdapat juga negara serantau menerima tawaran ini bagi
Okay, dia sebenarnya kan, the stories behind that of bila kita was emergency, alright? There's some country macam Thailand sebenarnya, kalau masa tu, kalau kita tengok history balik, sampai berlaku pembunuhan dan dia punya pemerintah tu keep on changing untuk mengatasi masalah 1997-1998. So masa kita pula, okay, masa kita adalah time tu Menteri Kewangan adalah Anwar. Alright, and then on that time also the Anwar was contribute to the corruption. Okay, corruption, and finally Mahathir actually they are planning to step down. Okay, nak step down dah, and then but the scenarios of economy yang berlaku pada masa tu menyebabkan dia stay, and finally dia lantik Daim, okay, as a Minister for Finance to settle up these problems of crisis, and finally Malaysia succeed to out from this crisis. How?
memulihkan ekonomi mereka pada masa tersebut. Selepas menolak tawaran IMF, Malaysia telah memperkenalkan satu model ekonomi baru untuk mengurangkan tekanan krisis dan menstabilkan ekonomi pada tahun 1998. Antara kandungan pakej tersebut adalah seperti berikut. Pengurangan kadar faedah yang membolehkan syarikat-syarikat dan pengguna mempunyai peluang bernafas kembali dengan pinjaman. Menstabilkan mata wang ringgit dengan mengikat dolar Amerika iaitu $1 bersamaan RM3.80. Ia dapat menghentikan turun naik mata wang. Perdagangan ringgit ditutup di luar negara serta perdagangan saham di Singapura. Mengawal aliran modal, terutamanya aliran modal jangka pendek oleh pelabur asing dan rakyat tempatan. Penstrukturan semula sektor korporat dan perbankan bagi membolehkan pemulihan mikroekonomi.
Okay, so this is a several way that the government do, and they introduce some new economic policy, new economic model. So what they do is they reduce the rates of the interest on loan, right? And finally, all these company yang go to bankruptcy, and finally they get some loan and they can do some investment. Okay, so they boleh breath again. And finally, next is we try to peg our currency. $2, $1 equal to 3.8 ringgit. And this one we have to structure back. Which is this is what we call we merge. Okay, where the financial institution yang go to bankruptcy, they have to merge with other bank yang more stable. Okay, banyak juga. So not only bank or financial institutions, insurance company and so on, but also the corporate company. Any corporate company yang mana nak collapse, so they combine, they merge. Alright.
Mikroekonomi. Dalam masa beberapa tahun selepas itu, Malaysia telah berjaya dalam pergelutan krisis ekonomi yang dahsyat di rantau Asia ini. Kehebatan pemimpin ketika itu dalam menolak tawaran pinjaman IMF sebenarnya adalah salah satu faktor terbesar Malaysia menjadi terkenal dalam mengharungi krisis ini.
Okay, this is the famous sebenarnya decision that the government have to do. Let's say, as I said that, contoh macam Amerika kan, Africa. So one of the country that we say that is a resource abundant, but finally when they get some loan from the IMF, so IMF they control the development, and they are not concerned about your growth, your country was developed or not. Okay, as long as you have to pay the loan, that is. So it's mean that if the country get a loan from the IMF, okay, the first objective is we can say that it's some secure and emergency, but finally there could be a regret to the country. Okay.
The financial meltdown of 1997 saw Thailand, Indonesia, and South Korea turning to the IMF for financial bailouts to restore stability to their financial systems and calm market sentiments. But the drastic reforms, steep interest rate hikes, and budget cuts had the effects of choking off economic growth, bankrupting companies, and causing massive unemployment. Malaysia, under the premiership of Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, then rejected the IMF's intervention and chose an unorthodox policy to save the country's economy from falling deeper into the abyss. He pegged the ringgit at 3.8 to the dollar and imposed capital control measures to shield the currency from speculative pressures. That helped calm pressures and trigger an economic rebound.
The IMF demands